There are moments in life when everything feels heavy, like the world quietly settles on your shoulders, and you carry it without a sound. And then there are moments when one message, just a few words, can change everything. Night, this is one of those moments. My love, what I'm about to say, it's not just words. It's something I've been holding inside, something meant to find you when you need it most. Because I know, deep down, you've been searching for peace, for reassurance, for something real to hold on to. And maybe, just maybe, after this message, you'll finally feel at ease. There are things you don't say out loud, not because you don't want to, but because the words feel too heavy to exist outside your chest. They sit there quietly, like unspoken storms waiting for a moment that never seems to come. I've seen that wait in you, even in your quietest moments, even in the way your eyes soften when you think no one is watching, even in the pauses between your words, where silence says more than anything you could ever explain. It's like you've learned how to carry everything without letting it spill, like you've convinced yourself that holding it all in is somehow the only way to keep moving forward. And maybe the world taught you that. Maybe it showed you again and again that vulnerability is risky, that opening up can lead to being misunderstood, overlooked, or even hurt. So you adapted. You became stronger than you ever planned to be. You built walls, not because you wanted to shut people out, but because you wanted to shut people out, but because you needed something to hold you together when everything else felt uncertain. And from the outside, it looks like strength. It looks like you have it all under control. But I know the truth is more complicated than that. I know the truth is more complicated than that. I know strength like yours doesn't come without a cost. Because being strong all the time is exhausting. Carrying emotions that no one else sees can make even the brightest days feel heavy. And there are moments, aren't there? Moments when everything slows down, when the noise fades just enough for your thoughts to get louder, and suddenly it feels like you're standing alone with everything you've been trying to outrun. Those are the moments that linger. Those are the moments that leave questions behind. Questions about whether you're doing enough, whether you're enough, whether you're enough, whether you're enough, whether anyone truly understands what it's like to be you. But listen to me, you were never meant to carry all of that alone. Not the doubts that creep in when you least expect them, not the fears that whisper things you would never say out loud, not the memories that return without warning, reminding you of things you thought you had already moved past. None of it was ever meant to be yours to handle in isolation. And the fact that you've been doing it anyway, the fact that you've been doing it anyway, the fact that you've made it this far despite everything, that says more about you than any words ever could. You've been fighting battles that don't leave visible marks, battles that don't get recognized, that don't come with applause or acknowledgement. And still, you wake up, you move forward, you keep going. That kind of resilience, it's rare. It's quiet, but it's powerful in ways that most people don't even begin to understand. It's the kind of strength that isn't loud or obvious, but it's there steady and unshaken even when everything else feels uncertain. And I know sometimes it feels like peace is something distant, like it's meant for other people, people who don't overthink, people who don't overthink, people who don't carry the same weight, people who don't lie awake at night trying to make sense of everything they feel. It can feel like calm is always just out of reach, like something you catch glimpses of, but can never fully hold on to. But you need to hear this. Peace is not something reserved for someone else. It's not something you have to earn by struggling long enough or proving yourself worthy of it. Peace is something you deserve simply because you exist, because you've endured more than you let on, because you've kept going in moments where it would have been easier to stop, because you've shown up for your life even when your heart felt heavy and your mind felt crowded. That matters. You matter in ways that don't depend on how strong you appear or how much you can handle on your own. You don't have to pretend with me. You don't have to pretend with me. You don't have to be the strong one every second. If the world made you believe that your pain is too much, then let me be the one who reminds you it's not. You're not too much. Your thoughts are not too complicated. Your feelings are not something that need to be hidden away to make other people comfortable. You're allowed to feel everything you feel without apologizing for it. And even in your silence, I understand more than you think. Not because I have all the answers, not because I can fix everything, but because I'm here to listen in ways that don't require words. Use them. Sometimes just being there matters more than saying the perfect thing. Sometimes presence is enough, and that's what I'm offering you, not solutions, not expectations. Just a space where you can exist exactly as you are without fear of being judged or misunderstood. When everything feels overwhelming, when your thoughts start closing in and it feels like there's no clear way through, I want you to remember this moment, this message. because it's more than just words. It's a reminder that you're not as alone as you feel. Not as alone as you feel, is it? It's a quiet reassurance that someone sees you, not just the version you show the world, but the real you beneath it all, the version of you that feels deeply, that cares more than they admit, that carries both strength and stern softness in the same heart, the version of you that keeps going, even when everything inside feels tired. That version of you, it matters. It's real, and it's worthy of being understood, not hidden on here in the quiet spaces, in the pauses between your thoughts, in the moments where everything slows down just enough for you to feel everything all at once. I'm here without expectations, without pressure, without any need for you to prove anything. You don't have to earn this. You don't have to become something else to deserve it. Because even on your hardest days, especially on those days, you are still someone worth holding on to, someone worth understanding, someone worth staying for. And I won't turn away from that. I won't step back from the parts of you that you think are too broken or too complicated. To me, those parts aren't flaws. They're the proof that you've lived, that you've felt, that you've survived, that you've survived things that could have made you give up but didn't. And I want you to feel that, not just hear it, not just read it, not just read it, but truly feel it settling into your chest like something steady, something calm, something real, like a quiet presence that doesn't rush you, doesn't demand anything from you, doesn't ask you to be anything other than who you are right now. A presence that stays even when everything else feels uncertain, even when your thoughts get loud, even when the world feels overwhelming. A presence that reminds you gently but consistently that you're not alone, that you're seen, that you're understood, that consistently that you are understood, that you are allowed to rest without fear, that you are allowed to rest without fear, that you are allowed to exist without carrying everything all at once, that you are allowed to breathe without feeling like you have to hold the entire weight of your world together on your own, that you are allowed to let go, even if just for a moment, even if just enough to feel a little lighter, a little carrier music, limer, a little more at ease. There's a kind of silence that not everyone understands, the kind that doesn't come from emptiness, but from feeling too much all at once. Zik. It's the silence you fall into when words don't feel strong enough to carry what's inside you. When explaining yourself feels more exhausting than just holding it in. And I've noticed that about you, the way you retreat into yourself sometimes, not because you want to disappear, but because it feels safer there, quieter, more controlled. But I want you to know something. Your silence doesn't push me away. It doesn't confuse me or make me question you. If anything, it draws me closer because I see it for what it really is. It's not distance. It's not absence. It's not absence. It's a language of its own, one that speaks through your eyes, your pauses, your breathing, the way you exist in a moment without needing to fill it with noise. And I'm here for that version of you too. Not just the one who smiles, not just the one who speaks and laughs, not just the one who speaks and laughs and makes everything seem okay, but the one who goes quiet, who drifts into thought, who carries emotions they don't always know how to express. You don't have to translate that for me. You don't have to turn it into something easier to understand. I'm willing to meet you exactly where you are, even if that place is silent, because being safe with someone, it doesn't mean always having the right words. It doesn't mean always knowing what to say or how to say it. Sometimes it just means knowing you don't have to perform, knowing you don't have to hide parts of yourself to keep someone close, knowing that even when you have nothing to give but quiet, it's still enough. Don't expect you to open up all at once. I don't expect you to open up all at once. I don't expect you to hand me every thought, every fear, every piece of your heart all at the same time. That's not how trust works. Trust is built in the small moments and the spaces where you realize you can just be without worrying about being too much or not enough. And I want to be part of those moments with you. So if there are days when you don't feel like talking, when everything inside you feels tangled and unclear, you don't have to force it. You don't have to push yourself to explain something you don't fully understand yet. You can just sit in that feeling. And I'll sit with you, not trying to fix it, not trying to rush you out of it, just being there so you don't have to face it, not trying to rush you out of it, just being there so you don't have to face it alone because you're safe with me. Not just in the easy moments, not just in the easy moments, not just when everything feels light and simple, but in the complicated ones too. In the moments where your thoughts feel heavy, where your emotions don't line up neatly, where nothing seems to make sense. You don't have to organize yourself before you come to me. You don't have to make everything sound okay. You can be messy, uncertain, quiet, and I'll still be here. And I know maybe part of you is not used to that. Maybe part of you is waiting for the moment when things change, when patience runs out, When understanding fades, maybe you've learned to expect that people eventually step back when things get too real, too heavy, too honest. But I'm not here for the surface level version of you. I'm here for all of it, the depth, the silence, the complexity, all the parts that make you who you are. You don't have to earn my presence by being easy to understand. You don't have to prove your worth by always being strong or always having the right words. By always being strong or always having the right words. You already matter exactly as you are. In this moment, with everything you feel and everything you don't know how to express yet. And even when you pull away a little, even when you need space to breathe and think and process things in your own way, I won't take that as rejection. I'll see it for what it is, a part of how you navigate the world, a part of how you protect your heart while you figure things out. And I'll respect that space without disappearing from your life, without making you feel like distance means loss. Because I'm not here to rush you. I'm not here to demand more than you can give. I'm here to stay steady, to be something you can rely on without questioning whether it will still be there tomorrow. Be. And that kind of presence, it doesn't need constant words to prove itself. It shows up in consistency, in patience, in the quiet understanding that you don't have to be anything other than yourself. So when you find yourself in those silent moments again, when the world feels a little too loud and your thoughts feel a little too loud, and your thoughts feel a little too heavy. Remember this, you don't have to go through it alone. Even if you don't say a word, even if you don't reach out, even if you don't reach out, even if you just sit there trying to make sense of everything inside you, I'm still here with you in a way that doesn't require anything from you. And slowly, without pressure, without expectation, that silence won't feel as heavy as it used to. It won't feel like something you have to hide in or escape from. It'll start to feel like a space where you can breathe, where you can exist without carrying everything at once, where you can let your guard down piece by piece without fear of what might happen next, because you are safe here, safe to be quiet, safe to feel deeply, safe to feel deeply, safe to take your time, safe to open up at your own pace, safe to close your eyes and just exist for a moment without having to explain yourself to anyone, safe to let someone see you without having to turn your emotions into something easier to handle, safe to trust that you won't be left behind just because you needed a little more time, a little more space, to trust that you won't be left behind just because you needed a little more time, a little more space, a little more understanding than most people are willing to give. Safe to believe that not everyone walks away when things get real. Safe to believe that not everyone walks away when things get real. Safe to believe that someone can stay without needing you to change, without needing you to become simpler. Safe to exist in your own way, in your own rhythm, without fear that it will push someone away. Safe to know that even in your silence, even in your most unspoken moments, you are still heard, still valued, still understood, still held in a way that doesn't need words to be real.